Hi everybody, this is Mr. Massaroni making this video on behalf of myself, Mr. Hilko, and Ms. Ebers. We are going to be going forward with our unit in geometry, and we're going to be talking about parallel and perpendicular lines. I want to talk about that with you today and even go over some examples here on the PowerPoints. I'm sure you guys have these with you. First of all, we're going to talk about what they are. Okay, parallel lines are coplanar lines. They're in the same plane that go on and on but never intersect. Okay, they are two lines that never intersect. If you take a look at the calculator here, this line, and this line here, they go on and on but they never intersect. Okay, now when we talk about parallel lines, we also need to talk about skew lines. Skew lines are similar to parallel lines in that they never intersect, but they are not on the same plane. And what that means is, again, on the calculator, this line here, okay, going back and forth, and if this were a corner, this line here coming up and down, they're not on the same plane, but they will never intersect. So that's what we talk about when we talk about skew lines, okay? Now, perpendicular lines, I'm sure you guys are aware, are two lines that connect to form right angles. Okay, they intersect and they form right angles. A lot of you think of it as forming a T or a perfect X on its side. Okay, that's what they are. When we talk about these lines, okay, we're going to talk about two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. Okay, if two lines have the same slope, they are parallel. I know it's a little tough to see on this video, but you have these at home. Let's see if I can bring that in a little. Nope. There we go, a little bit. All right. If you look at number one here, you know, both equations are in y equals mx plus b form. You see the slope there, both are 3. Okay, number two, okay, you've got a slope of 3/2. Now we know 3/2 can be reduced, 3/6, check that, can be reduced to 1/2. And then at the bottom, our slope is 1/2, so they are the same. Now for number 3, we've got to do a little work to get them in y equals mx plus b form. That's going to be the key to a lot of what we're doing here, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we take the first equation, 4x minus 5y equals 8. And we have the other equation, 4x minus 5y equals -1. Okay, so you have to excuse this thing on the left-hand side. That's actually the vase that's holding my phone up. Doing the best I can to get everything in here. Okay, so the first thing you do is you subtract 4x from both sides. Okay, -5y equals -4x plus 8, and then you divide everything by -5, and it comes out to be y equals negative divided by a negative is a positive 4/5 x. Positive divided by a negative is a -8/5. So your slope is 4/5. Okay? Now if we do the same thing over here, subtract 4x, always looking to solve for y. -5y equals -4x minus 1. Okay, let's see if I can. There we go. Divide everything by -5. Okay, and we get y equals negative divided by a negative 4/5 x, negative divided by a negative, plus 1/5, and your slope is also 4/5. So because they are the same, they are parallel. Okay? All right, there's that one. Now we're going to look at perpendicular lines down here at the bottom. Lines that are perpendicular, you say, are negative reciprocals. You will also hear me use the word opposite reciprocals. If one's positive, the other one's negative. If one's negative, the other one's positive. Okay? So when you look at these, you have a slope of 3, and then the next one is a slope of -1/3. Okay? Technically, 3 is a fraction, is 3 over 1. So you flip that, take the reciprocal, and then change the sign. Okay? Number 2 makes it very easy. You've got a slope of 3 over 5, and the other slope is negative 5 over 3. Okay? But again, number 3, I'm going to do here on paper for you so that you can see how to do this. It is 4x minus 5y equals 8. And the other equation, 5x plus 4y equals negative 1. Those are the two equations that are on the sheet. And again, we're looking to put them in y equals mx plus b form. So we subtract 4x, negative 5y equals negative 4x plus 8. Divide every term, don't forget every term, by negative 5. Y equals 4/5, negative divided by a negative is a positive, x minus 8 over 5. Now we do the other one, subtract 5x from both sides. So we have 4y equals negative 5x minus 1. Divide everything by 4. Y equals negative 5 over 4 minus 1/4. Now our slope on the first equation, 4 over 5. On the second equation, negative 5 over 4. They are opposite reciprocals, and that makes them perpendicular. Okay? That's what that looks like. All right, now we're going to move on to some examples on the next slides and get you going forward on some of those. Okay? So what is the equation of a line parallel to y equals 3x plus 2 that passes through point A, negative 4, 6. Okay? So let's get that here. We want y equals 3x plus 2 and our point negative 4, 6. And we want a line that is parallel. Parallel means the same slope. So we want a line with a slope of 3. That right there. Okay? Now the easiest way to do this is y equals mx plus b. Slope, intercept form. Okay? Now you see there's 4 variables there in the equation, but we have 3 of them. We have our x, we have our y, and we have our slope. And with that, we can solve for our y-intercept and then just put it back into the equation easily. Okay? Y is 6, my slope is 3, my x is negative 4 plus b. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and then you add 12 to both sides. Oops, 12. Give away the answer there. B is 18. Okay? We come back. Y equals, our slope is 3, mx plus b plus 18. And that's where we get our answer. Okay? Now the next one on that page, slide 4, talks about the equation of a line perpendicular. Now we want perpendicular, and the equation is y equals 3x plus 2 and passes through the point 6, 2. Okay? The slope of our line is 3 here. That's the 3. So the way I denote it is our perpendicular slope is negative 1/3. All right? And again, we're going to use y equals mx plus b. Okay? We've got our x, our y, and our slope. So 2 equals 3 times Yep, 3 times 6 plus b. Nope, check that, not 3. I'm using the wrong slope here. We want the perpendicular slope, negative 1/3. All right, count up my mistakes at the end. This is what you guys can do in my class. Send me the number of mistakes you hear me make on this video and correct, and send me that number via Google Classroom for 2 bonus points. Let's see if you get that right. Okay? We'll count up the mistakes and you guys can send them to me for 2 bonus points. All right, we have 2 equals negative 2 plus b. All right, so when you add 2 to both sides, you get b equals 4. Now we come back to our y equals mx plus b form, and it's y equals, let's get that into the screen, okay, our slope, negative 1/3 x plus 4, okay, and that's slide 4. So now we're going to move on to slide 5, okay, a few more. Some of these are a little more involved as we go forward, okay? The first question, we try to adjust this a little here. Let's see. Okay. If anything falls, I'm just going to do my best to correct it and just keep moving on here. All right, let's see. The equation of the perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector. Okay, to AB, where A is negative 1/5 and B is 3/11. Perpendicular bisector. So the perpendicular means we're going to be using slope. And again, opposite, reciprocal. And the bisector means we're finding the midpoint. That's the point right in the middle. Okay, so that's the key to this equation. First, we're going to go through and we're going to find the midpoint. Okay, and the midpoint, you guys should know the formula. You add your x coordinates, divide by 2. Add your y coordinates, divide by 2. Now, you're going to get a coordinate point. Okay, it's going to be an actual point. It's not going to be a constant. So make sure you understand that as you do this. My x coordinates are negative 1 plus 3 over 2, and my y coordinates are 5 plus 11 over 2. Now, negative 1 plus 3 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 5 plus 11 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So that is our midpoint. Okay? Now, what we also need is, for perpendicular bisector, we have to find the slope of those 2 points and then take the perpendicular line of that, the perpendicular slope, to find that line. So let's start with our slope equals the change in your y coordinates over the change in your x coordinates, rise over run, however you like to remember it. Okay? And what I'm going to do is, there it is, 11 minus 5 over 3 minus negative 1. Okay, so we get 6 over same change, 4, and that reduces to 3/2. So that's the slope of AB, but we want the perpendicular slope, so we want the opposite reciprocal, negative 2 over 3. Okay, now again, we have our slope, we have our x and our y, so we're going to start with y equals mx plus b. Okay, our y coordinate is 8, our slope is negative 2 over 3 times 1 plus b. Now, negative 2 over 3 times 1 is just negative 2 over 3. So I'm going to add 2/3 to both sides of this equation. There we go. You know 8 is 24/3. So when you put those together, b is 26 over 3. Okay, now we have our slope, we have our y-intercept, y equals, and that slope was negative 2/3 x plus 26 over 3. Okay, now we've got one more problem to do, and it's the equation of a line tangent to a circle. And the circle is x plus 1 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. And the point of tangency is 3, 1. Everything got there? Okay. Now we know the point of tangency is perpendicular to, it forms a right angle with the radius that comes from the center there. So what we're going to have to do is we find the slope of the line that contains the center and the point of tangency and take the opposite reciprocal to find the slope of the line. And then we have the point of tangency, we'll have the opposite reciprocal slope, and we will just put that all together into the equation. Okay? Now, first we need to find the center of our circle. And using this here, we have negative 1 and 4. Okay? And using that with our point of tangency, we're going to find the slope of that. Okay? So we want 4 minus 1 over negative 1 minus 3. And that gives us 3 over negative 4. There's the slope of the radius that gets us to the point of tangency. Now the line that hits that is the opposite reciprocal. So the perpendicular slope is 4 over 3. Now we have that perpendicular slope. We have the point of tangency. Y equals mx plus b. We use our x, our y, and our m to solve for b. So our y was 1, our slope 4 over 3 times 3 plus b. Okay, 3 over 1 we can reduce, and we get 1 equals 4 plus b. Subtract 4, whoops, lost it there. B is negative 3. So now we have that. We have our point of tangency, which was 3, 1. Oh, check that. We don't need that. We have our slope, which is 4/3. So we come out with y equals mx minus 3. And that is how you find the equation of the line tangent to that circle. I hope this was helpful. I hope I did okay here. I will take any and all feedback. Let me know what you guys think about the videos. Again, we're in the beginning process of doing new things here. Everybody's making an adjustment. I appreciate you guys being kind in your comments. Going forward, you will see videos of the classwork, pages 26 to 27, and the homework, pages 30 to 31. Please complete those, and you will see those videos coming up later in the week. I hope everybody is staying healthy and safe, and hope to see everybody soon. Take care, and look for new videos coming to you. Bye.